Welcome to this podcast. I'm Mike. I'm a counselling student, and I'm here with Simon, who is a full stack developer.
Full stack developer.
We're going to be talking about the use of AI in counselling therapies today. So, hi Simon. Thank you for joining me today. Obviously, AI in counselling can sound quite clinical, and or even unsettling to some people. So to start us off, how would you describe AI in counselling, what it actually looks like in practice today?
I would say that AI right now looks very robotic. You'll find that a lot of people associate AI with an actual therapist, so they'll go on and they'll talk to it as if it were the therapist, and that, although holds true, there's a lot more to it than that. AI can also be used in the background to assist actual therapists. So in the office, in their workplace. So with emails, automation, things like that. It's a tool that can be used to speed up processes. What it's also got is chatbots. People can use it to journal their own thoughts and assist with listing a set of getting their thoughts out and having it listed and then journaling that. It's something that humans don't do too well, so AI is really good at helping that out. In my view, today AI is best used as an assessment tool and to assist with practice rather than an actual therapist.
I understand why people hear AI in counselling and immediately picture something cold, mechanical or dehumanising, but that picture is exaggerated and a little bit inaccurate. In most real settings, AI is not taking over therapy, it's supporting a wider service around therapy.
Absolutely. Okay, so yes, precisely why I support its use. If it can be used for admin, then it can develop guided exercises which can be used outside of the practice, and it leaves the solely human side of counselling with the therapist and allows the AI to be used more as a tool, which is what I think it is used for at the moment. It's what it should be, a tool.
Okay. Well, we know that access to mental health support in the sector is one of the biggest challenges that it's facing right now. How can AI help to bridge that gap?
Access is difficult right now, and what AI can do to help that is it's available 24/7 in your hand. You pull out your phone and away you go. So you've got access to coping tools, you've got access to mood tracking, and while you're on a waiting list, all of this can be used to then feed to your counsellor or your therapist. So with it being available 24/7, that also helps access to people that may have disabilities that can't necessarily leave their house for a specific time or whatever reason. They have that access with them. And thirdly, by taking on some of the tasks that the AI can give to the client, it can free up the therapist. So if you've got some high risk clients that you need to focus your attention on more, and it's not necessarily as high risk, then some of the coping strategies and the routines that they can go through will then give the therapist more information while they're on the waiting list. So
the criticism here is that AI could be used as a cheap replacement for the therapist.
right.
So if the services are using AI to completely cut out the therapist, is that not the model of AI that you're defending though?
I'm arguing for the use of AI not as a replacement but as a bridge. So if people are currently getting no help whatsoever, then structured AI can help bridge that gap between them starting seeking help and then meeting therapy. It can free up the therapists to actually direct their attention exactly where it needs to go, rather than the guesswork.
So are you saying that this is particularly useful for people who are facing waiting for months due to things like stigma, geography, or cost in the services as they are now?
Yeah, so for people that have been waiting or are going to be waiting months, it's a good bridge to bridge the gap between the start of therapy and then finally making it there. It's on a smartphone, so it's very easy to pull it up and start doing some tasks and ease yourself in. For people that are on a low budget as well, AI apps can be free, which is just, it increases the accessibility, so it can be a gentler first step into counselling, and helps them build confidence before they engage with a real person.
Some people say that offering AI is just lowering standards, but I think that misunderstands the real issue. The real issue being that these people are sometimes cut off from counselling and therapies altogether.
My stance on that is that AI does lower the barrier somewhat, because it offers people immediate, affordable, and geographically irrelevant help. It doesn't matter where they are or what their ability or disability is, they can actively pull that up and speak to someone straight away. It may not necessarily be a human, but it can offer that bridge straight away, whereas before you would have to pick up the phone, potentially speak to a receptionist, and even that in itself can be daunting to a lot of people. So I think that the lowering of the standard of entry is exactly what it's doing. That's good.
Yeah. There's an understandable anxiety among practitioners that AI might replace the human relationship at the heart of counselling. What's your response to this concern, and how do you see AI working alongside the therapist to enhance the counselling rather than remove from it?
Yeah, so I completely share that notion that counselling is a human relational process, and AI can never replace that. But what it can be used for, it can take on tasks that don't require empathy or human emotion, and it allows the therapist to segregate those two parts. So the data element and the human element can be separated, and it can actually free up a lot of their time when used properly. So rather than thinking about it as an AI and a therapist in tandem, you blend them. In my mind, I imagine them as blended. So the AI can help with the preparation, follow-ups, data entry. There's tools I won't go into, but you could essentially speak to them now and they can jot everything down for you and create a nice graph of all your thoughts. And that's very useful for the therapist. So instead of thinking about it as AI replacing therapy, it's more of a tool that the therapist uses to get their job done faster, more efficient, and more accurately.
That fear is understandable, especially when AI is talked about in exaggerated terms. But current AI models lack the ability for empathy, ethical judgment, or for relational depth needed for full therapy. That concern becomes much smaller when you stop pretending AI is going to replace the therapist, but rather work alongside the therapist. Do you agree?
Yeah, so obviously I totally agree with that. It separates the human part of the therapy for the therapist, and it allows them more time. So when AI is used as a tool in therapy and not pretended to be a therapist, because I mean, when you have a deeper understanding of how these things are built, they couldn't possibly be human right now. You're bang on the money. They have no empathy. They have no human connection. You can't program that, no matter how good of a programmer you think you are. But as a tool to be used alongside the therapist, when it separates all of their data responsibilities, it frees up more time for them to be the human aspect of therapy. So, yeah, I totally agree with that.
A lot of therapeutic work happens, or ideally should happen, in between the sessions. So how can AI tools help with the in-between session work, whether that's psychoeducation, mood tracking, or simply being there at 2 a.m. when the therapist can't be?
Exactly. So a lot of change happens in people when they come away and they do their daily or weekly or however long it is between sessions. So when those things change, like if they're triggered, or if their mood changes, or if they're swinging up and down, if they're having ups and downs, and they need to log and jot that down, as long as it's been supervised, and i.e. an app developed for this specific branch, or maybe therapy at large, I don't know how they want to go about that, but with a supervised app, you can jot these things down, and then you could take them back in. You say, okay, on Wednesday at 4 o'clock, I did this, and it falls back on the accessibility. Everybody has a phone, so you can pull it out and you can go up, and as they advance as well, we can even speak to them. So you can tap a button and speak to it. You've seen the GPT, where you can tap and you can talk to Chat GPT and she'll answer you, and it's a bit of fun.
You've seen me arguing with the GPT.
You've seen me arguing with it at times as well, trying to gaslight it and things. You can create that, but in a therapy environment. So it's very, very locked and segregated. It's not access to all the internet and that, but it's specifically for your clients. So they jot their moods, they jot their swings, they write down and collate everything for you. And then you bring that back into the therapy session.
See, the worry is that people might become over-reliant on the AI therapist in between sessions and drift away from that human connection with their actual counsellors. That is a real risk if there are no boundaries, but boundaries are exactly what good counselling practice already uses.
Mm-hmm. So that falls back exactly to what I said with supervised. So when developing the app that does this, it has to be in line with your criteria as a counsellor or as a therapist. If it falls outside of those bounds, then it's a bad app and you don't release it.
Well, okay, consent, confidentiality, safeguarding, professional oversight, these are all non-negotiables within counselling professions. So how do we make sure that the AI upholds these rather than undermines these principles?
You remove yourself from using AI models that are on the internet. So you can create a localized model that only runs on your machine, and you can be extraordinarily strict with it. And for example, I could tell my AI model on my machine that it is a frog and to only ever ribbit at me, and it will never do anything but ribbit. And it's a really dumbed down version of how to set rules, but you can be very strict with localized apps. So you don't have to give them access to all of the internet and allow the potential for hackers or anyone else to gather the information. You can also tighten them so that when clients are speaking about certain things or drifting, as you were mentioning there, the AI brings them back and grounds them. It's doable, but it will take practice. It's not something that's available right now.
Well, a common argument against AI is that it's automatically unethical and unsafe. I'd say it's not automatically unethical, but it depends on how it's used.
Yeah.
What safeguards exist and whether professionals remain accountable. So how would you address that?
Well, I have no idea right now. How does your profession hold itself accountable if a mistake is made?
My profession is accountable.
Mm-hmm.
We're accountable to VACP standards.
Excellent. Let's use that. Let's use the VACP standards. So, if that is the baseline required criteria of your rule set, then you can program that into your AI, and it uses and keeps up with that baseline criteria, and it's not allowed to deviate. So you were saying before how AI is, it's being argued as automatically, what was it you said? Unethical.
Unethical and unsafe.
Yeah, that's... I mean, I don't want to put a Dewey Downer on this, but that is opinion. It's not fact. AI being unethical or unsafe is duly down to the way it's being used.
So you would still always hold that AI is ethically safe and is sound?
No, humans are unsafe, and the things that they do and say can be unsafe.
I was going to say,
Yeah.
you would say that AI is safe as long as it's given the correct safeguarding attitude.
Yes, as long as it's supervised. So you can give it safeguards, you can give it clauses, you can set criteria and rules, but you can never stop stupid from being stupid.
Or would you say that the harm comes from AI when it's used without any kind of safeguarding or oversight by professionals?
There are use cases where AI has created harm, yes, but then I would argue that so has nearly everything else that has ever been invented, being used one way or another for harm. But did the AI itself create harm, or did the user using it force it to? That in itself is an investigation that we have no way of figuring out.
So just before we go, if you could leave our listeners with any kind of message about AI and the use of AI in therapy, what would that be?
My key input to this is that AI is a very powerful tool, and it's only going to get better with time, but it is only as powerful as the people that use it, if that makes any sense. You can use the AI for nefarious means, but you can also very strictly set criteria and have it used for extraordinary good.
Well, debate often gets pushed to extremes with AI will either be the saviour or the destruction of therapy. I don't think either of those views is serious enough for what we're really dealing with when it comes to the use of AI in therapy.
My stance on this is that AI is an extraordinarily good tool as long as it's carefully managed. And a carefully managed AI tool for therapy can help access, it can help capability, it can help with all the data that therapists are using on a daily basis. It can speed up their work and it can strengthen their practice.
Well, thank you for joining us today.
No bother. Thanks for having me.